Okay. This is the shop. It's not clean. It's old. There's years, decades even worth of dust and grime. It's not super pretty, but for us, it's home. This is where we're at. This gentleman is my Uncle Jim. He's been working at the shop for 45 years. First-time callers will call him Mr. Gowdy, even though that's just the name of the company. Gowdy Reed has a long history, and he's going to talk to us and tell us about those things. He'll describe his experiences and trials and tribulations, some funny things, some not so funny things, and he's going to give you an idea of what we do here and what this means to us.
But it was started by a guy named David Gowdy in 1834. And my great-grandfather, Kevin, the guy behind the camera's great-great-grandfather, bought it from Gowdy, or one of his relatives, in 1900. And it was incorporated in Providence in 1900. At that time, it was located on the waterfront in Providence. And then it moved to a location specifically made for reed production on 1226 North Main Street in Providence. That had a fire in, I think it was 1973 or 4. And then we moved to its current location in Central Falls, Rhode Island, where we're still producing reeds to this day. A loom reed separates the yarn evenly as cloth is being made within a loom. And you have your warp and your weft, and it separates the yarn. So if you were weaving silk, it would be 40 or 50 teeth per inch. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you were weaving burlap, it would be 4 or 5. So something has to separate it evenly as it's being woven. And that's what a loom reed does. It's like a comb with a top on it. I've been coming down here all my life. I used to come down on Saturdays with my father when I was 13. And he gave me little safe jobs around the shop. So I pretty much grew up with it. And after I got out of college, my father needed help here. He had an aging workforce, aging machinery, and a ton of work. So it really needed a shot in the arm. And I started not thinking that I would be here forever, and the years go by, all of a sudden you've been here 25 years. So
Good one, I think.
Actually, Central Falls gets a pretty bad rap in Rhode Island because of its history. And it started, I'm not sure the exact year, but in the late 1800s, because textiles was booming along the river which runs through Central Falls, called Blackstone River. And anywhere where there was a river, there was a textile mill, because that was their battery at the time. So immigrants were coming in droves to staff those mills. And they were building housing for them, which is how our three-deckers came into play. And they're still all over the place in Central Falls. But the farmers in Lincoln didn't like that. And I think it was probably because they were bigoted, probably racist. You got a lot of Europeans, didn't speak English, coming in. And you had these old swamp Yankees right next door. So Central Falls used to be part of the town of Lincoln. So the farmers who ruled the government at the time surveyed out 1 square mile, which encompassed all the three-deckers and the textile mills, and said, now you're Central Falls, you're on your own. Pretty much is how they did it. And so Central Falls is only 1 square mile, and it's very densely populated. But, you know, I don't think it has any more troubles than the bigger towns. It's, you know, there's some good and there's some bad. I don't have any problem here. Been coming here all those years. Never had a problem.